Welcome to the great punctuation debate.
The Oxford comma, also known as the serial comma, has been dividing grammarians, writers, and everyday English users for decades.
It's that little comma you place before the and in a list, like in eggs, bacon and toast. Seems innocent enough, right? But the Oxford comma has sparked intense discussions about whether it's a grammatical necessity or an outdated relic of more formal times.
Let's start with the pro-Oxford comma camp. Advocates argue that this humble punctuation mark is crucial for clarity. Imagine you're reading a sentence like, "I'd like to thank my parents, Oprah Winfrey, and God." With the Oxford comma, it's clear. You're thanking three separate entities. Without it, well, it might read as if Oprah and God are your parents. This is where the Oxford comma truly shines, eliminating ambiguity and ensuring that your reader interprets your list exactly as you intended.
But let's not forget the anti-Oxford comma crowd. These folks view the Oxford comma as a redundant, even pretentious, punctuation mark that only complicates modern writing.
In today's fast-paced digital world, where brevity is key and characters are limited. Looking at you, Twitter, why add an extra comma if it isn't absolutely necessary? They argue that context and sentence structure usually provide enough clarity, without needing that additional pause.
Consider this. Would removing the Oxford comma really lead to widespread confusion? Or are we just clinging to a rule that no longer fits with contemporary writing styles? After all, language evolves.
The way we write and communicate today isn't the same as it was 50, 100, or 200 years ago.
Just look at how texting has revolutionized our approach to grammar and punctuation. Can anyone even remember the last time they used a semicolon in a text message? But here's where the debate gets juicy.
Legal documents and contracts often rely on the Oxford comma to avoid costly misunderstandings. There have been real-life court cases where the absence of an Oxford comma led to millions of dollars being at stake.
One famous example. In 2017, a dairy company in Maine had to pay out $5 million due to a missing Oxford comma in a state law regarding overtime pay.
The law listed exemptions, like packing for shipment or distribution of certain goods. Without the Oxford comma, the court ruled that shipment or distribution was considered one activity rather than two, and suddenly, the company's workers were owed overtime.
So, is the Oxford comma a hero of clarity, saving us from legal woes and awkward misunderstandings? Or is it a cumbersome holdover that we could easily live without in our quest for a more streamlined, modern language?
Let's not forget that even within the English-speaking world, there's no consensus. The Oxford comma is more prevalent in American English, while British English often omits it.
Ultimately, the Oxford comma debate boils down to a matter of style versus necessity.
Do we keep it for those rare but critical moments when it prevents ambiguity, or do we ditch it for the sake of simplicity and a cleaner, more efficient writing style?
And what about the impact on education? Are we burdening students with a rule that's increasingly irrelevant? Or are we equipping them with a tool for precision in communication?
So, what's your stance? Is it time to retire the Oxford comma? Or does it deserve to stay in our writing arsenal? Drop your comments below. Let's continue this punctuation debate.
And if you're a die-hard grammar enthusiast, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the quirks and complexities of the English language.